Okay, so now we have our Excel workbook open and we are ready to enter data in our Excel workbook. So let's start. Here I am in cell A1 right at the beginning and I am typing in the data, say my company name, ABC group of companies, and worksheet I am creating will show revenues of my company and it will be in lakhs. Okay, so herein I have typed in some data. When I was typing, I selected A1, but just because the written text is too long, it shows as if it is flown into cell B1, C1, D1 and E1 as well. But that actually is not the case. The data, when I started typing, I selected specifically A1 and then I started typing the data, which means the entire data remains in cell A1. Okay, here is the formula bar. The job of the formula bar is to tell us what content is there in the cell. Okay, if it is a formula, if it is a text, then how much text, the entire content of that cell can be seen in the formula bar. So right now, when I am selecting the cell A1, the formula bar tells me that whatever text I have selected is there in cell A1 itself. If I click on cell B1 here, formula bar shows nothing, which means cell B1 is blank. Similarly, if I go to cell C1, D1, E1, all the cells are shown blank here, which means the content that I have typed is in cell A1 only. It's just that it's too long, which is why it is flown into, visibly flown into the rest of the cells. Okay, and that also is happening because rest of the cells are blank. If there would have been some data in these cells, that this overflow thing will not happen. Okay, let me continue. Let me go to cell C4 here and type in more data. So I am here typing in the month. Okay, after typing in Jan, I pressed the tab button on my keyboard. So that took me to the next cell. I am typing in Feb. Again, I am pressing tab on my keyboard. It takes me to the next cell and here I am typing March as the month. And now instead of tab, if I say press enter on my keyboard, it takes me to the cell right below Jan. Now it knows that I will need to enter some more data below those headings. So automatically Excel helps me get there when I press enter. Now one thing to notice here is when I am typing some value or some data in a cell which is in text format, it automatically left aligns to the cell. So this is my cell and the text Jan is automatically to the left hand side of the cell. If I go here, we can see that the cell, the text Feb is to the left of that cell. Now let me type in some numbers, say 2.15, 2.99. I'm sorry, the number key is stopped. Okay, so I am typing in the numbers here: 2.1, 2.99, and 3.25. Now whatever numbers I have typed in, Excel automatically detects that the value or the data that I am entering is a number and the numbers automatically align right of the cell. So here we can see 2.11, 2.99 are to the right hand side of the cell. Okay, so the text comes to the left hand side of the cell and numbers to the right hand side. Now here, while typing in the numbers, say instead of a point I use comma, then automatically that number is not a number for Excel anymore. The comma actually is converting that number in format of a text. So 3,59 is a text for the Excel and it is not a number, and which is why it is left aligned in the cell. So now we will need to rectify it, correct it. To correct it, we can double click in the cell, the cursor appears there and we can obviously press the backspace, type in the point there, press enter and my data is corrected. Similarly, once more let me show you how we can correct the data. So at first what we did is we did double click to enter the cell. We can also use this formula bar. So if I click on this formula bar here, I can use the backspace and use the dot. So likewise, let me enter some more data here. Okay, so you can see all my numbers are coming to the right hand side of my cells and the text is on the left hand side of my cells. Now let us enter some more data. So I am typing in the name of some cities. Okay, so even here we can see in cell A6 I have typed in Vishakhapatnam, but just because the word is too long to fit in a cell, it automatically flows into another cell which is adjacent to it. Obviously, when I click on this A6, my formula bar shows me that the entire word is in A6 itself. When I come here in cell B6, formula bar shows nothing, which means cell B6 is blank. But obviously it is blank, so it is allowing A6 to overflow its content there. Now let me type totals here. Okay, and now we are ready to use some formulas or functions to get our totals here. We will get our totals for these numbers in this cell and similarly for these numbers here and for these numbers here. But before doing that, let me show you how we can save this file so that we can use it in future as well. So to save the file, we have multiple ways of doing that. Very first is this save button that we can see on the title bar itself. This is also known as the quick access toolbar. So it is giving us a quick access of some features. So we can click on this button save and we can save our file by typing in some name and then clicking on this button more options, and that will give us option to select the location for the file where we want to save it. Say when we come here, we can click on this browse button and then in our computer, wherever in the desktop or in whatever folder we want, we can just go and save that file. So that's one of the ways. Second way is when we come on this file option, we get these buttons here, save and save as. We can click on them. Again, the same options will come in front of us, and then we can click on this browse button, and browse button will allow us to select the folder in which we need to select the or save the file. So here I am coming and selecting here the desktop, so we can save our file on the desktop itself. I'll write it as lesson 01 and I'll save it. Okay, so here now it says saved and the file name is shown here, lesson01.xlsx. xlsx is the file name extension of Microsoft Workbooks. Okay? So here we are ready now to do some calculations, but we will do that in our next video. So see you in next video.